So this one was Specimen Paper 1, question 7, and it's asking us to multiply out the brackets and simplify. So our rule for expanding brackets, we're going to be looking at these powers, and remember when we multiply we can add the powers. So we're in the first place, we've got x to the half add minus 3 halves. So a half add minus 3 halves is a half take away 1.5 really. So we're going to get minus 1 there. And then for the second term, we've got the half at the front and we've now got negative a half at the edge here. So when we do adding powers there, a half add negative a half gives us power 0. So we get x to the minus 1 plus x to the 0. And asks us again to simplify that for our next mark. So we have to look at what we can do there. I'll leave this one just now as x to the minus 1 because that would be enough to get the mark, but you need to know what x to the 0 is, and anything to the power 0 is always 1. So that would be for part A. Complete. Part B is asking us to find the value of this expression when x equals 6. So we're putting in 6, but it's going to be easier to do that if we rewrite x to the minus 1. So we should know that x to the minus 1, if you've got a negative power, it means it's 1 over the positive power. So x to the minus 1 is actually 1 over x. So we've got 1 over x plus 1 from our answer for A. We're now going to sub in a 6 for x. So we've got 1/6 plus 1. So our exact answer would be 1 1/6. Or you could write it as 7/6 if you wanted as well. The marking scheme for that was quite straightforward. So the 2 marks in the first part were for x to the minus 1, and actually they've been quite generous there because you've got it for either x to 0 or 1. And then the second one, when you sub in the 6, you need to get it to 1 1/6 or 7/6. So sorry, I'm just going to put the marks on. Keep opening this by mistake. How do we close it again? Who knows? Right, that looks good. So we can have the first 2 marks for the first 2 bits that we wrote down there, and then the last mark on the last line.